Hello and welcome to Wujiang in China for the fastest event of the year. That's right, it's time for speed to kick things off. My name is Matt Groom and it is a pleasure to be joined by Lucas Knapp in the commentary box. Lucas, for those who don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, Matt, I'm a speed climber, as you probably know. I also competed in this event. To be honest, it wasn't my best competition, but I'm really excited to be here with you today. Also, with such a strong field, it just motivates everybody on the circuit to keep pushing, and you just see the whole field is developing from season to season. And yeah, it's just really insane also to see 2 world records in the qualification. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here and also really excited to commentate and watch this final with you.
It's going to be great. I know you're going to stay right up until the very end and then you're going to head down and watch the final, but then you'll be back for the interview. So I'm excited for that. So thank you, mate. Now let's talk about world records quickly, because yesterday we had an unbelievable world record finish. Sam Watson, double world records. He broke it the first time. We all got very excited, prepared videos, came down to interview him, and then he smashed it for a second time. What was that like in the stadium for you, seeing that?
I mean, it was really, really interesting because Sam was, I think, 2 pairs behind me. So I was basically finishing and thinking like, okay, maybe let's watch 1 or 2 climbers. And then he goes out and smashes the world record. And then he just does it again. I mean, what does he else have left in the tank? It's going to be really interesting to see because he's very public with his PBs, so we can see them on Instagram. And his world record now with 4.79 obviously is super close to his PB that he showed on Instagram. But you know, you just don't know what adrenaline does to the body in the competition. So it's going to be really exciting to see what he still has in the tank.
Absolutely. And look, explain it a bit, because often we see world records being broken in qualifying, but not so much in the finals. And that's because the format changes. I mean, this is a race compared to before where it's against the clock, right?
Exactly. Now it's Sam as first position against the 16th position out of the qualifiers. So he doesn't have to break a world record to beat the other guy if he has a clean run. So there's not really the need to make a world record in the finals, except maybe for the final race, so the last race. But in the first rounds, it's all about him being constant and just pushing through a good run, and it should be enough.
Well, let's see. We've got this to come. Now, this is our speed walls. 15 metres high, 5 degrees overhanging. And those holds on there, as you can see, big holds and foot holds. And Lucas, even though it's the same route, the thing I love most about speed climbing is the fact that you guys find the most insane beta for this. Because you've got lots of different ways of going up this wall, which can really shave off seconds.
Yes, and it's so interesting because still on this higher level there are different betas. Between man, between female, also between the different men, between short guys, between tall guys. So there are just a bunch of ways to climb this route, and you couldn't say like this is the fastest. I mean, you would say the world record is obviously the fastest, but there are other ways to climb it with different hole combinations that are still really, really fast.
So exciting. I mean, honestly, this is, I say it a lot, but this is one of my favourite disciplines in this whole thing, because I think the athletic ability of you guys is incredible, and also, I mean, just what an event. The atmosphere is incredible. So we will begin shortly. We're just having a look at our beginners. So this is the starting lists for the men and the women. Emma Hunt at the top. She's qualified for the Olympics back in the World Championships. And do remember, if you're watching, that this year it's a build-up to the Olympics. Some athletes in the OQS, some already qualified, some not qualifying and concentrating fully on the World Cup. So it's an interesting year with lots of intricacies in it. But luckily myself and Lucas Knapp will be here to talk you through it all. So, in the light show going in the background, we can see our first athletes waiting. We're almost time to get underway. Seconds away, everyone. So, waiting in the Lucas, in the area, we have Emma Hunt and Julia Randy, two such experienced athletes, of course. But Emma, I mean, still fairly young. And what do you think of Emma Hunt here in this moment? I mean, she's already qualified for the Olympics, and we know how good she can be.
She basically has nothing to lose. I mean, she can only win. She's so close, or one of the closest athletes to the world record that is currently held by Ola. And she shows in the qualification what she's capable of. So I'm really excited to see her just blast a good run out because, yeah, you see it on her face, like she's enjoying every moment of it.
Yeah, she always has that smile, doesn't she? And I really want to know what she says in that moment. She says something to herself.
She's singing.
Oh, she's singing?
She is.
I guess this is why we need you in the commentary box. All right, Emma Hunt versus Julia Randi. First race. Whoever loses this will be knocked out. The buzzer goes. It's a clean start for both women, and Emma Hunt at the moment is slightly pulling away. Julia Randi slipping in the middle, but Emma Hunt with a big fall. That means Julia Randi is going to take it. Lucas,
no way. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. This is really uncommon, especially in the women, because the difference 1 to 16 is normally bigger, but it goes so fast.
Oh,
Can you believe it?
Because Emma Hunt was ahead for most of that race.
She was.
Unbelievable. Well,
but that's the thing. You blink and it's over.
This is why it's the best sport. I mean, the favourite, one of the favourites, I should say. I mean, we have got Olamide coming up later, but one of the favourites knocked out already. So it's wide open immediately for the women as the first race is completed. Natalia Kaluchka versus Beatrice Colli. And look, Beatrice Colli, apart from having new tattoos, every time I see her she's got different ones, she's one to watch, right?
Yes, she's definitely heading to the tattoo list, which is cool because she goes like a little bit like places, one tattoo from South Korea, one from this trip. But yeah, like she's so focused and she has a really strong mind. But also Natalia, I mean, it's really tough to say anything bad about her skill set, her focus. So this one is really, really a close race, not just time-wise, but also both athletes could easily win this. But yeah, that's why it's so interesting to watch.
Absolutely. So here we go. Natalia Kaluchka on the left of your screen, Beatrice Colli on the right. The athletes take their starting position, 1 foot on the wall, 2 hands, 1 foot on the timing pad. We wait for the starters' orders. Well, it's clean from both women. Beatrice Colli firing ahead at the moment. Look at the speed from Beatrice Colli when Natalia Kaluchka is catching up at her. It's going to be Natalia Kaluchka.
Oh my God, that was so close.
So close. What happened all in the last section of that race?
That's basically what we could have expected because both of them, if they don't make mistakes, they are really close in their time. And Natalia just clocking in under that 7-second mark. Bea slightly above it, but it's like, you couldn't see that coming. Like, where did Bea lose 400ths of a second? Like,
well, all in the top half, like section of the wall there, because she was definitely ahead through most of it. And I think Beatrice Colli, getting a bit lost. No, Natalia getting a bit lost there. She's found her way back. Well, now expect the crowd to go a little bit crazy. 2 Chinese athletes come, and tell me about Team China because they're very strong at the moment.
Yes, and I talked to one of the coaches today. They're really having a lot of athletes, also in the upcoming athletes, because they had a lot more spaces for this event, because it's a home event. But with home events, it's always difficult, because some see it as very positive, like they can push themselves. For others, it's a pressure. So we don't really know what they are thinking, but for sure the crowd is going to get wild, because they're on their side. I mean, the crowd cannot lose anything.
That's a very good point. Yes, they're going to be going crazy. Right, Dainyu on the left, Jacqueline Zhang on the left. Right, Dainyu is off to a better start at the moment as we approach the middle half of the wall. Now she's starting to get reeled in by Jacqueline Zhang, and Zhang takes it, although looks quite disappointed coming down.
That's interesting with the Chinese athletes. I don't really see them often showing emotions, but when they do, they totally break free. But they seem to be quite composed until the very end. So for them, it's just like one step in the path to success.
It's interesting you talk about being composed because focus in speed climbing is important, isn't it? I mean, it's so easy to get distracted by everything, but you need to stay in your own zone.
It is. But with a lot of athletes, you see once they hit the top, the composure is gone and they're like, breaking free with all emotions. There are people who are really excited about every round they go through, and others who are like straight-faced.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's I can't remember who it is, but there is one athlete who's completely gone, and then only at the very end, if she wins, she smiles. But it's very interesting. Right, Rajya Salsabilia from Indonesia versus Jiminjong from Korea. Korea is another team who is getting really impressive in terms of their performances. Same with Japan, actually. They're up and coming. But there is Jiminjong on the left. Similar PBs as well.
Yeah, that's always one to watch out, because the PB is basically the World Cup PB. So we might not know on national comps what they do, but this is the official PB, so it's easy to compare.
There we go. Right, here we go. Starters orders. It's a good start from both women. Jiminjong slightly ahead at the moment. Rajia Salsabilia now comes up. Little hesitation from Rajia. Jiminjong coming back. This is going to be so close. Jiminjong at the top.
It's so interesting to see, because like last year we were still talking about how many women do we have under this 7-second mark. But now we see multiple women. I think yesterday in the practice there were already 7 women. So they're really, really going strong and developing.
Absolutely. Well, the speed programs are progressing. The training is getting better. And as you said, everyone getting faster. So we'll have a little pause here. Next race, Alexander Kluchka versus Guizin Zi, as we progress through the halfway stage. So here we go. Alexandra Kaluchka, one of the 2 sisters. So often we see them. And they're twins. And this year they have pretty much the same hair color. So I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yes, it used to be easier to differentiate them. But now it's a little bit, I mean, also they're both like really fast.
Exactly. I'm in real trouble.
And sometimes they're even racing in the World Cup. So it's like...
Yep, it's an issue, I'll tell you that much. Where they've got different hair, I can differentiate. They are almost identical. So, Alexander Kaluchka on the left, Guizin Zi on the right. It's going to be pretty special, this one. We wait to see. Right, it's a clean start from both women, but Alexandra Kaluchka is pulling ahead. She's fast on the top of the wall as well, and Alexandra Kaluchka takes it fairly easily at the end.
And there we have the next 6 point something.
Oh, yes, true. So the time's dropping as well. So let's watch that again. She has such an interesting top half of it, that skip that she does.
Yeah, it's like a little bit orientated on what all the Polish girls do. Like also if you look at Ola Miroslav, she has a kind of interesting top section, which is a little bit different to the other girls, but obviously it works.
It does indeed, yeah, the differences. And honestly, this is why I love this sport, because it's the tiny little things that make such a difference. All right, next race, Patricia Wujiang wearing the headphones as she walks on. Hopefully she'll take those off before she gets going. And Shengyun Wang on the left. We have a saying, Lucas, in England, which is risk it for a biscuit, which just means you've got to put it all on the line, basically, because this is what you have to do in speed. There's no point, like, sort of hesitating at this stage.
That's it, because the field is quite close. So, yeah, if you know, okay, they are 10 hundredths or 20 hundredths faster than me or slower than me, there's no point in, like, you have to go all or nothing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Here we go. A slightly different graphic there, but it is Patricia Wujiang and Shengyun Wang. So there we go. So both athletes looking up at the wall. Oh, and it is close. Patricia Wujiang, though, way ahead at the moment, but Shengyun Wang is reeling her in. Oh my goodness, how did she do that?
Oh my God, how close was that?
I thought Patricia Wujiang had that all the way, and yet...
It looked like that, but then... Oh my God.
Well,
I don't even know what to say.
So what happened there? It's all at the top.
Then Wang was coming with the crowd in the back. I think like she was feeling it and like... I mean, now we're in the 3rd digit, right? It was 7.12 something.
So close. If you're Patricia, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to watch that back and think, how did I not take that one?
Yeah.
Well, this has been a dramatic start so far. 2 races remaining. 2 Chinese athletes come out. Linjuan Deng versus Jingwei Fan. 2 athletes walk forward towards the wall. And Lucas, is there any difference in left and right lanes? I mean, we're seeing a lot of right lane winners at the moment. Sorry, right wing losers at the moment, left wing winners.
Well, on the left lane, you always have the person who is better ranked. Mm-hmm. So basically from the qualifications... Technically, on the wall and the holes, there shouldn't be a difference. Normally, there also isn't. Some people argue that they have a favorite lane for whatever reason, but the holes, the structure, it all is exactly the same.
Exactly, and this is checked. This is world record wall, of course, and that is strictly monitored by the IFSC. So, Linjuan Deng on the left, and then Jingwei Fan on the right. It's a clean start from both, and a big hesitation from Fan there. Deng can win this if she just keeps it together. Watch the top. Yeah, it is Deng who takes that wing. That mistake from Fan cost her really dearly down low.
Yeah, it's always tough, especially if you make a mistake in the first half. Most of the time your opponent kind of notices it. They don't look over, but they have a feeling of the peripheral view. So they know, okay, she is already kind of behind me, so I just have to play it a little bit safe, then I might do it.
Yeah, and it's playing it safe is interesting because that can sometimes kind of work against you, can't it? Because if you're thinking, I've just got to be careful, then you get out of your rhythm, and that's
exactly. It's just you don't have to go 100%. It will be enough if you continue with 95%, let's say.
Which is still outrageously fast.
It is.
All right, Alexander Miroslav on the left. I mean, what else can you say about this lady? And Capucine Vigiloni there. Look, Alexandra last year was dominant, then she lost the world champs, totally reset herself, and came back and won in Rome, and it was amazing.
It was. That was so interesting to see, because I think it brought something to her, and she just came back stronger.
Absolutely. Okay, so both women prepare in blue and black. Alexandra on the left, Capucine on the right. It's a good start. Capucine far faster than Alexandra, though. Alexandra will now start to get good. She's fast on the top half. That little skip, and she does take it as expected. Alexandra, she has the best top half, I think, in the whole women's game. It's amazing to watch it.
Yes, it's really interesting, especially from the 10-meter mark onwards. But what is also interesting to see, just as you noticed with Capucine, Alexandra's start is not the fastest in the field. Even if you look at the world record races, sometimes her opponent is fast at the start, also with reaction time, but her 7-meter onwards is just so phenomenal.
It must be frustrating if you're against her, because you must think, I've got a chance here. I mean, oh no, she's gone. You know, he just does that. It's amazing.
But sometimes, in rare occasions, you do have the chance, as we saw.
Yeah, we saw her slip in the World Champs.
It happens. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Yeah, and when it happened with someone we're just looking at the results here, but with someone like her who is so consistent, it's shocking when she falls. It's a bit like if Yanya, suddenly didn't climb some boulders very well.
Yeah.
It's more of an impact, I think.
And here are the results. I think it's interesting to see because we see the Chinese domination with 3 athletes through, but also the Polish domination, which are also 3 athletes through. So basically 6 out of the 8 that advanced are from 2 nations.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, different countries have better speed programs than the other, so yeah, fascinating. Okay, it's time to turn our attention to the men. First race will be Sam Watson, the record holder. This is Riso Omasa. Now, I'm fascinated by this race, Lucas, because Sam, obviously, huge high last night. He needs to rein it in now. He just needs to calm himself down and maybe just take off 5% perhaps from his top speed.
If he can.
If he can, yes. Maybe he's too fast for his own good. We'll find out.
Maybe he also goes to 105%. Let's see. I mean,
mate, I'm not
he's
sure
in the flow.
That. My adrenaline meter can't
It feels like he has a hot hand, if you would say in basketball.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. All right, so Sam Watson, there he is. He wears the Whoop band on his left arm. He's really particular about his training and his routine. We have a little feature in the World Climbing Club, which is a daily video. We talk about his kick.
And just to mention, we shouldn't keep out of mind, Sam only has won 1 World Cup. So
yeah, that's true.
He won Edinburgh, but that's been it. So it's not usual for him to be in the first position to be the leader.
Yes, and maybe Sam has found another gear this year. We'll have to see. But Ryo Omasa on the right, very talented Japanese climber. You can see only just slower than 5 seconds. Here we go. Well, it's clean from both. Sam Watson is motoring. Ryo Omasa is fast, though. What's it going to be? Watch the clock. Wow, it's sub 5, 4.915. Unbelievable from Sam.
Hell yeah, he's constant. And he knows how to keep those times under pressure. Because 4.91, there would have been if we talked a week ago, there would have been 100s off the world record. But one of the very few times with 4 in the first that we have seen on the World Cup, or in the world, for a better sake.
Consistency, it's interesting in speed, isn't it? Because, yeah, fine, you could be fast once. That doesn't really matter. Every single World Cup, you have to turn up and be fast.
Yes, that's it. And consistency on a fast level is so difficult to achieve.
Yeah, well, who is going to be the most consistent here this evening? If you're just joining us, welcome to Wujiang. We're here for the speed finals. My name is Matt Groom. I'm with Lucas Knapp. And this is Reza Aliposhina Zandifar on the right, Inshuang Wang on the left. Look, Reza, I mean, what a legend that man is.
Yeah, and it's so cool because he's still here. He's been around the speed circuit for so long, and he's still here, and he's still in the top 16, or maybe say again in the top 16. So he kept up with the whole circuit, also with the young shots.
And that's not easy to do, is it? Because the game has changed a bit.
Yeah, and he's the only athlete from Iran on this level, so that's tough.
Yeah, well, let's see if he can pull it together, because he's up against a strong competitor in Wang. So we wait. Wujiang Wang looking very composed. It's clean from both. Reza explosive off the ground, though. Can he hold this lead? He's about half a foot. No, he can't. Wang takes it at the top. Reza slipping.
And we see he had 5.14 now. Reza was ahead until he slipped. So that would have been a really, really fast run from Reza as well.
Oh, I mean, we'll hopefully, well, I don't think we'll see a replay of it. But yeah, Reza just slipping. And at this level, you're not, I say they, but you aren't thinking about it, are you? I mean, you've done this 1,000 times. You just hope the body remembers.
Yeah, you shouldn't think. That's the thing. The moment you start thinking, you might mess it up.
Have you ever seen Top Gun, the film?
I did.
You know that comment, if you think you're dead?
Yeah.
I've always wanted someone to quote that in the commentary box. It's brilliant. Thank you very much. You made my day there.
You're very welcome.
Zach Hammer on the right. He's up and coming, that man, isn't he? And then on the left, Kermel Katabin, who has potential, let's be honest, to win this World Cup here today.
Yeah. But also for Zach, he really improved the last 2 years. And he's here because he had a rerun due to a protest, and that's made the 5.22 in the rerun.
Yeah, the protest was about the buzzer, right?
Exactly.
Well, we'll talk about that in a sec, because that was a talking point. So let's watch this race first of all. Katabin on the left, Hammer on the right. Well, it's good from both men, Zach Hammer and Katabin. Oh, but Zach then slips, and Katabin... Oh, no, Katabin slips at the top.
Oh my God!
That gave us a bit of a moment. We both leaned forward in the commentary box there.
That's something that would have been very close to European Cup Lublin a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there was this race. One guy slipped at the very bottom, and Eric Neuer was on the left lane, and he slipped at the top and fell out of the wall. No. He would have been through, but he slipped. So there was a rerun because both athletes fell.
Unbelievable.
And we were kind of close here on that too.
Very close, yeah. I mean, I bet Eric was a bit annoyed by that.
Yeah.
So tell me about this appeal. So the buzzer went a bit too soon, is that correct?
Yeah, the thing was the German coach was having an appeal because it was Sebastian Lucke racing with Zach Hammer. And there is a defined window when you stand on the pad and ready comes, and then the first beep comes. There is a window in which this should happen. I couldn't tell you the specific rule because it's a little bit complex, but this window was too long, so they were standing ready and the beep wasn't coming. They were still doing the race, but the German coach made a protest because he said it was too long compared to others. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you so much. All right, so Matteo Zaloni, world champion on the left, hasn't competed for a long time. Has he got a bit of rust? We'll have to find out. And then the legend John Brosler on the right from the USA. Here we go. Well, John was ahead, but now Matteo starts to speed up. The world champion stops the clock at 5.155. Well, clearly not rusty.
Not rusty at all. But it's good for John to see him being back because he was a little bit injured. So he had to fight through that. But he's in the top 16, so I wouldn't argue that he still feels a lot of his injury, or at least he can go over it.
Yeah, he was quite badly injured, wasn't he? So
yeah.
It's good to have him back. And Matteo Zaloni, of course, took some time off, reset, did lots of media, but he is back in the run for the gold medals. Okay, once again we have two Chinese athletes out. It's Wu Peng versus Jinbao Long. So China versus China, and as you said, nothing to lose from the crowd here, but a lot to lose for these athletes. Is it easier or harder racing teammates, in your opinion?
It really depends. For your coach, it's always easier because he says, if one wins, well,
true,
he's got one through. But yeah, I think it's just a little strange in my opinion, because it's basically what happens in training. And you're like, well, I'm not in training anymore. Now it's serious.
Yes, that's a really good point, actually.
But you might be used to it, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, swings and roundabouts, eh? All right, Peng Wu on the left, Jinbao Long on the right. Here we go, another race, halfway through this men's first round. That's good from both. Peng Wu was quicker off the starting blocks, but Jin Baolong is now bringing him in. Peng Wu, though, will stop the clock. Sub-5 again. My goodness me. What? These times nowadays, so quick.
Yeah. But also Peng Wu, he did 4.9 in the qualification. So he's also the only Chinese athlete to be officially under 5 seconds, at least on the World Cup circuit. We don't know about national comps, which makes it a little bit tougher. But on the World Cup circuit, he's the only one under the 5-second mark. Oof. And yesterday he ran 4.9, so he would have equalized the world record if there was not Sam Watson.
Certain Sam Watson in the wings, yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, it's exciting stuff here. I do love these races. Next one up is Vedrik Leonardo versus Jin Guaolong. And Vedrik is another Indonesian superstar. Have you trained in Indonesia before? Have you been part of that side of things?
Last year we had the chance before the Indonesia World Cup to train with those guys, and it was really, really fascinating to see like how they train, how they live, what their conditions they train under, because they're always training not in climatized gyms, they're training outside, which was for us very hard.
Yes.
But they're used to it, so let's see.
Here we go. Okay, so both athletes off to a good start. Vedrik slightly behind at the moment, but Jin Guao slips and Vedrik keeps it together for 5.184. Good victory from Vedrik. Now, I want to talk about age range here because there's quite a range. 17 age to 29 compared to 19 to 30 for the women. So it seems as long as you're under 30, you might make a World Cup at the moment.
Well, and then there comes Basamawe.
Good point.
Made the who won in Rome. So yeah, but basically, it doesn't really, age doesn't matter that much at this point, or you have the range as you mentioned. But for speed, I would say experience does matter because you have the pressure on the second. And for example, here we can see Ludovico is coming up next. He's an experienced athlete and he knows how to handle the pressure. Some young athletes might face a little bit of difficulties with that.
Yes, it's true, but it does seem to be becoming a young man's game a little bit.
Oh yeah,
because it's so explosive.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So things are changing a bit in the speed world. There is Ludovico Fossali, and he is against Cao Long from China. So Ludovico needs a bit of luck, I feel. Like he's come so close, hasn't quite had it. We just want things to go right for him.
Yeah.
So the Italian speed demon turns around. He's memorizing the route there. And then Long Cao on the left. It's just calm, composed, stares upwards. Here we go. Well, it's a clean start from both men. Ludovico slightly ahead at the moment, then suddenly Long Cao hits the accelerator, then slips. Ludo slips as well. Ludovico just pulled that back. Oh my God,
there we're talking about luck.
I mean, Ludovico had a real moment.
Yeah, but he does a lot of those things, like where he's kind of lucky in a race, but sometimes he's and sometimes he's not. But yeah.
He needed a bit of luck. He had to stop. And it's hard, isn't it, when you stop like that, to go again and find the momentum?
Yeah, because you feel like you're lost. You just have to see, where am I actually in the route? Because it's like the same when I make a mistake on the wall and I talk to my coach afterwards. I'm like, hey, Fabi, where did I make the mistakes? I can't remember because it's like you're in the flow. So, yeah, I know somewhere in the top half, but I couldn't tell you the whole.
Yeah.
Because you're so in your moment there.
It's interesting. So do you spend a lot of time watching replays and sort of slow motion of what you've done?
Kind of, yeah.
And psychologists as well. I know quite a few speed clubs have psychologists they work with because pressure and dealing with pressure is important.
It is, because basically you're thinking, okay, now I flew all the way to China for like 2 races, maybe maximum, like if it's 12 seconds, it's already bad, so rather 10 seconds would be good. And you're like, I shouldn't mess this up.
I don't know how you do it. I couldn't cope with that. Right, Rishat Kabulin on the right from Kazakhstan. That man is lightning quick. Liang Zhang on the left of your screen. Here we go. Okay, once again, both clean, both absolutely neck and neck. Rishat has it, though. Ling Zhang slipping, and Rishat with a 5.119, close to his PB and fast from that man.
He's so constant, though, also, because last year we saw it, for example, in Chamonix. He was hitting his PBs from Chamonix, so he was hitting 5.05 and up to 5.25, something like this range, all the time.
It's amazing. And when he gets going, it sounds ridiculous, but it's like water. Like some athletes kind of thunder up the wall. Rishat just seems to flow through it, which is
Yeah, you can really see that nicely, how well they are in bringing the speed with them, and it just looks different from athlete to athlete. Some are really like, you see, oh, this is really, he has to pull, and the other one is like flying up there. So you see the body composure, and it's just like a little bit different from athlete to athlete, and yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's the little details, as we said. Right, we'll have a little bit of a pause here while we get set for the next round. Sam Watson versus Wang will be next as we progress through. We had the lead qualification semi-final earlier on today, and now we are with the speed final. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about your training at the moment. How's it going? What are you up to?
Actually, I'm very happy with my training. Before we came to China, like the last session, I hit my PB. Actually, I hit 5 runs that were all under my last season's comp PB.
In a row?
Yeah. So last session was like best session of my life, basically. Actually, the same for my teammate. So I'm really in shape, but I just couldn't show it this time. There was the thing, I had 4 runs, like 2 practice qualifications. I was feeling it, but I couldn't put it on the wall. So I'm really hoping for the next chance in Salt Lake, in my case, which is already in 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, but actually I'm really happy with my training.
Okay, awesome. Well, good to know that, and best of luck in Salt Lake when I see you there as well. Next race coming up, Julia Randi walks onto the stage versus Natalia Kaluchka. If you're just joining us, welcome to China. We've had the first round of the men and women's speed final. Second round time, Julia Randi versus Natalia Kaluchka. Julia Randi beat one of the favourites, Emma Hunt. She could be one to watch.
She could be, yeah. But also Natalia Kaluchka is very constant. So, I mean, if you were to have to bet, I would suggest not to bet.
That's good. It's good advice generally. Don't gamble, kids. All right, here we go. Well, it is close to the beginning. Natalia Kaluchka is slightly ahead, about half a body length. Julia Randi staying in touch, but Natalia Kaluchka will walk away with this, and she does. So Natalia Kaluchka progresses. That was very clean from her.
Yes, and it just feels so good as an athlete if you know, okay, I just had a clean run, everything was good. It gives you so much strength for your next run, because if you mess something up, you're a little bit thinking about it, although because you have obviously one to go if you win.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it can spiral. I mean, it's a similar thing to, let's say, a lead route, that if an athlete makes a mistake, you sometimes see the effects of it like 4 moves later when it kicks in.
Yeah.
And that's similar for speed, is it?
It is. If we're talking about Ludovico, for example, he had a real stop there, and he now has to switch all that off, because he won the race, so he has one more, but there's no time to think about what happened in the last race, because he just has to go.
Oh. That's such a good point. I've never thought about that. It's like you have to walk back into ISO, shut it all out, reset, and just go again and forget about the past.
If you have a good run, you can take the momentum with you. If you have a bad run, but still win, you're starting from 0. You're like, okay, now I'll do the next good run.
Wow, there's levels to this game, seriously. Right, Jiminjong on the right from Korea, Shakwin Zhang on the left. 6.93 versus 6.83. This is going to be close. Well, it's a fast start from both women. Jiminjong, I think, is slightly ahead, but keep an eye on Zhang on the left of your screen. She's behind at the moment. No, but wow, look at the times. I mean, you can barely call it.
Yeah. Also, starting reaction is pretty much the same. So that's like, really, really close.
Talk to me about starting reactions, because it's something I always struggle to understand. So you have to be, within a fraction of a second of that buzzer going.
Yes, you hear the last beep, and after this audio signal, you have to kind of wait for 10 hundredths. So everything that's 0.100 and upwards is okay. If you have, for example, 0.09, it's too fast.
So that means you have to not go immediately on the buzzer, right? You just have to have like a heartbeat, a tiny pause.
Kinda. You can go when you hear it. That's the idea behind it, because it takes a tenth of a second for you to actually hear it. So you actually have to hear it, but you can't really, because it's
I get it. Yeah.
At least you cannot be too slow. Like, there's no upwards boundary, you can only be too fast, but if you're too slow, you have to catch it up on the wall. So it's in your best interest to go as fast as possible, but not too fast.
So you can't anticipate it.
Yeah,
I get you. Okay, right. Alexander Kaluchka on the left. Shengwen Wang on the right of your screen. So both women pretty close again in PBs, but Alexandra Kluchka does have it on paper, so we'd expect her to walk away with it, but slips can happen, so let's see. Well, it's good from both. Alexandra is slightly ahead, but Wang, a big slip from Wang, and Autobile starts reeling itself in. Alexandra Kluchka walks away with that one. The Kluchka sisters, they're getting it done at the moment.
It's really nice. And also, if you see, we don't see them in the next round together, so we might see them in the big final together. Yeah,
that's true, because often they race each other. And it's always a bit... I can just imagine it's a sort of a bad family dinner the next day when they're meeting out.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, they're spending so much time together. I was talking to Alexandra lately, and she was having a training camp in France, and she told me something like... Well, she hasn't been, because she went there alone, and she was like, well, I haven't been apart from my sister since, I don't know, it was her first solo trip. Oh. So it's like they're really...
Really close.
Yeah, they're really close. They're training together. I think they're also living together, if I remember correctly.
Oh, my goodness.
They have the same coach, obviously.
I couldn't do that, honestly. I think I'd fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's what it apparently works in their case, so they can both take a lot out of it.
If it works, maybe take their anger out.
It's a personal thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Right, Li Deng on the left, Alexandra Miroslav on the right, current world record holder on the right of your wall. Let's see. Well, it is an explosive start from Alexandra Miroslav. She is ahead at the moment. Little mistake from her, but a better start, and she will walk away with that one. And look how happy she is. I think she knew that she recovered there because she had a moment where her left foot was on nothing. She was in trouble for a second.
Yeah. I mean, here you can see it, that for her, it's not, since she lost it one time, it's not guaranteed for her anymore that she feels like, okay, I'm anyway going to win. She's happy about every win, and she appreciates it much more, in my opinion, because you can see it every time. She's really like, yeah.
No, I think you're right, and her whole attitude changed as well. Far happier and fresher on the wall. Right, women's round done. We move on to the men's. We just get some confirmation there, and you can see how it works now, knocking themselves out as they go.
Yeah, and also we can see now we have, 3 Polish athletes through. So basically, Team China is out.
Yes, that's true.
Would you have expected that?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, home advantage is a thing, and the Chinese crowd, I would imagine, a bit disappointed by that as well. But, I mean, they still get to see some good action.
They do. And obviously, we have seen strong competition from the Chinese females, so there is nothing that they can say, okay, well, we weren't good. But it's like, at this level, those small mistakes,
makes a big difference. I mean, they've got 2 more chances here in Peng Wu and Wang as well. But our first race will be Sam Watson versus Yishuang Wang for the quarter-final. Just a little pause in proceedings here as we swap over the athletes. And what I love is watching you guys warm up, because lead and Boulder, they're on a wall, they're sort of traversing left and right, getting pumped. You guys are running up and down, you're playing football. It's a whole different mindset.
Yeah, that's true. Also, what you can see a lot in our warm procedure is what kind of you often see from Formula 1, where you have these reaction things, like dropping balls, if you remember that.
Yeah, I've seen
that. It's like, it's a little bit different approach, definitely, but it's more about like being in the moment, and
That's so cool to know. See, the more I learn about this, it's fascinating. We saw Sam Watson's kick there. So that is we found out that it's because initially he used to have to move an auto-belay out the way. So he'd kick it out the way. And then by the end of it, he just kind of became just part of his routine. And now it's just part of what he does. So Sam Watson on the left there, 4.79 versus 5.05. Sam Watson looking so focused. Here we go, next race. Sam, 2 hands on. So Sam Watson off to a good start, but Wang is very fast as well. This is going to be one in the air, I bet you. Sam Watson, though, takes it with a 4.827.
Yes. This is very, very close to a new world record.
That was unreal from Sam Watson. Sam Watson is on it at the moment. We wondered if he could win. He's now my favourite in my head anyway. I'm touching some wood here. Yeah. Just in case for Sam, so I don't curse him.
Also, you could see that his starting reaction was 0.16, which is, in my opinion, for my feeling, a good starting reaction. So he doesn't really have a lot to give there. I mean, there's a few hundreds, but with a perfect start, this would have been a world record.
That's ridiculous.
Because it's 600s, and he was 300s above the current record. Or it's interesting, because you think about it, if he beats his competition PB, he beats the world record.
Oh,
Just let that sink in.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Wow, imagine being Sam Watson right now. Just imagine the enormity of that feeling. It's crazy. All right, Matteo on the right. Do you know, by the way, Matteo strapped on his back. Is he okay? Any injuries there, or is it just an old thing?
For him, I think it's more of injury prevention. I think he has like little bits, but nothing big.
Okay, good to know. I saw it on Instagram. I was worried for a second. So Matteo Zaloni on the right, Kermel Katabin on the left. Oh, it's good from both athletes. Kermel is slightly ahead. Matteo will need to find something on the top half of the wall. He is finding something though, but oh my goodness. I think Matteo missed the pad then slightly.
It looked like it, but the timer is still there, so he has the time, but he was very close to missing it.
Yeah, it's almost like he kind of slipped sideways and we won't see a replay.
But that's the thing, he had to go for it. He had to risk it. Because even now he was like a little bit too slow, like 300s. But if he wouldn't have risked it all, I mean, worst case he missed it. You don't know, he wouldn't know if he lost or not. But still, like...
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. Like, I mean, you've got to do it. And if he was slightly off, then hey. But I think he lost it in the air on that race. Whew, okay, let's take a big breath here in the commentary box. Peng Wu versus Vedrik Leonardo. China versus Indonesia. We know what the crowd think, who's going to win this, but Indonesia, you can never count them out.
Yeah, and this duel is basically Speed Nation against Speed Nation. It's like...
It's like Ferrari versus, I don't know, Aston Martin. This is massive. I'm just showing off the abs.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. This is a massive race here. Yeah, we saw how absolutely shredded Vedrik Leonardo is there when he lifted up his
also
t-shirt.
look at the PBs.
Oh, 4.9 versus 4.9.
Vedrik with the 4.9 world record, Peng Wu with the 4.9 yesterday. Not world record.
Oh, wow. Okay, so literally nothing between them. Here we go. Well, Vedrik had a better start, I think, but Peng Wu now is coming back at him. Peng Wu is going to take it. 4.938.
That was smooth. Yeah, Vedrik also had a slip at the start. I don't know if you saw it at the friction. He slipped a little bit.
Who, Peng or Vedrik?
Vedrik.
Okay.
But so then, yeah, no, I mean 4.93 is so close to Wu Peng's competition PB.
Unbelievable there. Yeah, that's worth remembering for people at home is you guys, and this kills me every time I think about it, but you are smearing on the wall on occasions and still getting upwards trajectory.
Yes.
How do you do that?
We just do it. But on some walls it's easier than on others because as standardized as the wall is, for the friction there's a range. Basically there's a top end of the range. It cannot be any more than this, but there's not really bottom end, so it can be quite a bad wall or a good wall. And yeah, and you feel the difference.
Is this a good wall or a bad wall?
Oh, this is a good wall.
This is a grippy wall.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember in Korea last year they resurfaced the wall and suddenly world records went all over the place.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference to the score.
If you would ask me, I think that's the best wall on the circuit. Hold wise, grip wise, this is the wall to set world records and personal bests on.
And it happened, right? It happened.
And we saw it.
Exactly, twice. Right, Ludovico Fasali on the left, Rishat Kabulin on the right. Hard to call this one, 5.18. Ludo should lose on paper, but... Oh, Rishat, there we go. As I said it, massive slip from Rishat. I think it was on the Tomoa as well. And Ludovico gets it done with a 5.632. Ludo moves forwards.
But that's the funny thing about Ludo. He can be really, really fast, but oftentimes something like this happens where maybe his run is not perfect, but the other one, his opponent also makes a mistake, so he still gets through with it.
Yeah, I mean, you need luck to go both ways.
You do. That's it.
Yeah. Well, luck went his way on that run. He will leave, progressing to the next round. And things the pressure comes off a little bit now because you're not knocked out at this stage. If you move forward, you're still in the small final. And that's where bronze and fourth place finishes up.
Yes.
Right.
And also, just for our viewers, the interesting thing is this is the only round where you could actually make a false start and still progress. Because you have either small or big final.
Yeah,
which
so
happened to
that
me
stress.
at some point.
Okay, so that stress goes as well. So let me talk more about beta here, because there's lots of words thrown around, and one of them is the Tomoa skip. So just tell me the story about how Tomoa Narasaki had a speed move named after him.
Well, he's a boulderer, but he was also really good in speed when he trained for the Olympics, obviously. And for the first few moves, before it was the Reza skip, which was a different beta named after Reza Liposhena. And Tomoa applied a different technique on the first hold 3 to hold 5. And he was the first one to implement it in competition, and a lot of people liked it and looked at it. And they call it Tomoa skip because he's the first one who did it, basically.
Wow, it's such a fascinating story, that one. Tomoa Narasaki with a speed move. Awesome. So here we go, the next round. My name is Matt Groom. I'm joined by Lucas Knapp here in the commentary box, and we're watching the presentation. Now, for me, Lucas, you've been in this position before. What's it like? Because for me, does it not just sort of knock you out of your game as an athlete?
Honestly, it does a little bit, because they are not very generous with time before and after presentations. They go back in, and 2 minutes later they should race, which is a little bit stressful sometimes. But on the other hand, it's also nice because you kind of feel appreciation, because you're standing there together, female and male athletes, which is nice. And yeah,
I mean, I feel like if I was an athlete, I'd be frustrated because I'd want to get on with it. But your sport is so fast that we never get to stop for a moment and appreciate you. So I like this because, we get to see how much hard work's gone into this.
Also, with lead and boulder, you have so much more time on the wall, so you get the chance for you as a commentator and others to learn something about the person, to see them. And for speed, it's just those short moments. So it's just nice to present the athletes again. And also it's nice to have somehow of a break, so you see, okay, now we're moving on to the finals or to the decisions who's going to be in which final. Because sometimes if you're not very detailed and you don't have a commentating, you might get lost a little bit, like which round are we in, how many are still to come.
I will admit I've had that happen to me at a competition, not an IFSC competition, but another competition where I finished the commentating a round early. It was highly embarrassing.
Which is why I would really like to see an LED screen that just says the round.
Yes,
quarterfinals, finals of 8, whatever. That would be a nice addition. I think it would be easy to implement.
Yeah, I agree. But that's actually a good point. I will pass it on to the higher powers.
That would be greatly appreciated.
All right. I mean, I have no power at all. I'm just saying these things, but I'll try. All right. Well, the athletes leave the stage, and the tension in the arena ramps up a notch. In the commentary box, we've got sweaty hands because it's time for the semi-final. Now, these athletes will progress into different rounds. 2 will go into the final for gold and silver. 2 into the small final for 3rd and 4th. And Lucas, for me, the small final, I say it every time, but what a brutal race. You get a medal or you get nothing.
Yes, that's basically it. And it's mentally also really tough because, well, 4th place, as you said, it doesn't really matter too much. 4th place is never nice. There's some sports where in 4th place you get a medal, but here you don't.
I don't think you should get a medal for 4th. I'm a traditionalist here. I think 3 spots on the podium. But I do really feel for that.
But you feel
place.
For the 4th place,
They should just get a massive bottle of champagne.
Yeah, that's why I call it chocolate place.
Yes,
you get a bar of chocolate and that's it.
I like how we have different celebration rituals. Mine's champagne, yours is chocolate. That's fair enough. You're the athlete. Well, we're seconds away here. We really are to getting cracking. This is the women's round. As you said, 3 Polish athletes, 1 Korean athlete. Incredible from Team Poland there. And they're quite separate entities, aren't they? So, like, Alexander is a bit apart from the Kluchka sisters, usually in terms of travel.
Yes, they also live on different locations within Poland, so they do not train together. I'm not sure whether they travel together in some occasions or not, but they are basically they live in separate areas. So, yeah, I mean, although they're all Polish and sometimes get together, it's not as if this would be one training group.
Okay, well, there we go. That's the history for the athletes. That's our crowd. And it's an educated crowd out there. Like, they like climbing.
It is. I talked to a friend of mine who lives in China, and he said, he wanted to attend, but the tickets sold out so quickly. So
I heard there's a big black market at the moment. Don't tell any organisers this, but the black market for tickets is high right now. People want them. They're in demand.
They like this event here.
Yeah, they do. It's a good one. Right, here we go. So Natalia Kluchka, Jiminjong. This is for the small final and big final position. We get to decide our medals. There is the Kluchka sister, dressed in the blue and black of Poland, and the red and white Polish hair.
I'm always wondering what the Polish Federation thinks right now, because they know we have 2 medals. Let's see which color they are. Maybe we have 3.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. For them, they're just winning, aren't they? At this point,
like,
they could sit back, relax at this stage. All right, so Jiminjong on the right from Korea, 6.72 versus 6.45 for Natalia Kluchka, PB. Here we go. It's good from both. Jiminjong is ahead at the moment. Natalia Kluchka is going to have to find something massive in the top half. This route, but Jiminjong slips. Natalia Kluchka takes it. I mean, look at her face.
Yeah.
I don't think she thought she was going through that.
No, but she continued, and that's it. Never give up, never give up. Because we've seen people slip at the last move. We've seen people miss the pad. Everything can happen.
It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? That never give up thing.
Yeah, it is.
Do you, when you've done it, do you sort of catch yourself? Do you force yourself to keep going, or do you just not even think?
It depends. Sometimes I force myself, and sometimes I also messed it up already. But yeah, it's really because you always, if somebody falls, you see it. I had this experience at the European Games where my opponent fell on the first move, and then after 10 meters I saw it, and then I actually looked down to him if he's still there, because I saw he's not above, and it's like,
Wow, that's a lot going on in there. All right, can a second Kluchka sister get in? Alexander Kluchka's turn to try to get into this final, but she is against Alexander Miroslav.
Well, the only thing we can say about this is that Poland advances to the big final and Poland advances to the small final.
Yes, exactly. If you are a betting man, that's the bet to put it on. The Poland are progressing, whatever. So, here we go. Alexander hasn't been beaten in a while. Can she be beaten by her teammate, Alexander Kluchka? Well, as expected. Actually, no, Alexander fast off the blocks with that one. Alexandra, though, Kluchka is pulling it back. Big slip.
Oh, wow, 6.33.
Oh, wow.
That was really, really fast.
Yeah, world record 6.24, so that was right on it there. Wow, so Miroslav is up for another.
She's on fire.
Another medal.
But they were really close. So also, until she slipped, wow.
That was a big old slip as well, wasn't it? She just sort of dropped out of our shot and down.
That's the thing, once you lose momentum, it's tough to get back.
Absolutely. Well, we know our finalists now for the women. Time to know our finalists for the men. And Sam Watson will be up first as we just pause a little bit, just to ramp the tension for you watching at home. Look at the spotlights on the wall as well, framing lines A and B. The belayers are ready, auto belays at the fore. The judges are there, and we are excited in the commentary box. So here we go. Lucas, any predictions out of this for the men? Sam versus Kermel Katabin. It's going to be a close one.
I mean, we have Sam here, who's at 4.9. With the new world record below 4.90, obviously. But also Kermel. It's very tough.
It's kind of experience versus youth, isn't it, at this stage?
It is.
And I know Sam Watson's dad, who won't be listening to me talk, but he'll be in the audience just screaming at his son.
But also it's cool because in the now fighting for big and small final, we have 4 athletes. 3 of them are under 5 seconds officially. Only Ludovico, the only one being PB-wise above the 5-second mark. So we really have some of the fastest men in the world also with PB-wise here, not just being able to push through the competition.
Yeah, true. This is a real who's who of speed climbing right now. I mean, just to qualify for this thing was ridiculous. I mean, the times you had to get through was madness.
Also, if we look at qualifications, you have to think there were 4 people who had 5.31 something. Oh. There were 4 people who had 5.38 something. So the field is really getting so much denser.
Oh, gosh. Like the margins, tiny margins. And this is, you guys are true elite athletes, and we'll talk about this in a little break, but like how you guys train. I've watched a few gym sessions. You guys put yourself through hell.
Yeah, it's really tough. Also, skin-wise, because we hit the walls often, so you have to check your nails are okay, your skin is okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, brutal. All right, so Sam Watson on the left of your screen, Kermel Katabin on the right. Can Sam keep it together? I mean, he's had race after race. Maybe it will crack at this stage. Fingers crossed if you're from USA. Or can Kermel take it? 4.97 versus 4.79 PBs. Well, it's good from both. Kermel, big slip. Sam Watson, if he can keep it together.
On and on and on, and 4.89.
Sam Watson will be in the big final race. Could this be his second ever gold medal? This is massive for that man. And Kermel with a big slip. Unfortunate for him.
Yes. And also you have to say, this is the first comp where Sam goes in as number 1 for the qualifications. And he hasn't made a single mistake. So he's in the big final. Edinburgh was a little bit different. But he's dominating. He's dominating.
Because he seems to always be under 5 seconds as well.
Yeah. I don't think we have seen a 5-second run from him.
No,
today.
I don't think. I'm thinking about it.
Or yesterday.
No. That's ridiculous. Sam Watson has had a good off-season, put it like that. Right, Ludovico Fasali, though, he's had the luck so far. Can that luck hold versus Peng Wu on the left? The Chinese crowd would love to have Peng Wu through here.
They would.
So here we go. There is Ludovico.
Because it's the only chance left at the medal for China.
Yes, good point. So
they're really going to be supporting Peng Wu here?
Yeah, they're going to be cheering for sure. But Ludo might use that to his advantage, a bit of anger in there.
It's a mind game, If he can convince himself that they're cheering him.
That's a good point. I'm going to use that as a tactic as well. All right, here we go. Ludo on the right, Peng Wu on the left.
That's going to be a close one.
It's going to be right down to the wire. Well, it's good from both. Ludovico Fasali is slightly behind. Peng Wu is really accelerating for the top. What a run by Peng Wu!
4.86.
Peng Wu as well. I mean,
that's a new PB for him.
Oh, yes.
This will be if we don't see mistakes now in the big final, this will be close as hell.
It really is going to be close. I mean, it's good because the two fastest male athletes will be against each other. It's nice because that doesn't usually happen in speed.
It doesn't.
Right, let's talk about how brutal this sport is briefly, because I've seen athletes with huge cuts down their leg, battered knees. I mean, it is a savage sport what you do.
It is. And also the thing is always, when something happens in the competition, if you have your knee open, it's really not going to stop to bleed, which is kind of annoying because you know it from Boulder. You cannot climb, or you're not allowed to climb with an open wound. And if you touch the wall, it's normally quite a big surface that is open.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Well, hopefully no blood as we wait for our finals. So, with the training that you guys do in the gym, that's one of the biggest differences I see, is you don't often see like lead and boulders lifting big weights, but you guys are. It's a whole different style of training.
Yeah, I think that's the main difference, that we don't necessarily spend as much time on the climbing wall or on climbing holes as lead and boulders do. We do a lot of fitness stuff, lifting weights, also a lot of athletic stuff, sprinting, hurdles, and that stuff to get explosive power, because in the end it's a combination, For boulder and lead, you might argue upper body is 80-90% of it. For speed, I would argue it's like maybe 50-50 between upper and lower body. So we also need to put a lot of more focus on a lower body, and this is mainly through gym and athletics.
Yeah, because that old image of climbers having skinny legs does not count for you guys.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
All right, well, we're seconds away as we wait for the final. So here we go, the moment we've been waiting for the last couple of days. The fastest speed athletes in the world are about to pit their fingers and legs and all the other things against each other in this race. I'm with Lucas Knapp in the commentary box, who I just want to point out was meant to leave, but I think he's got quite into it here with me, and we are enjoying things here.
Oh yeah. Matt was so nice and said I could go and watch it live because we're a little bit apart, but... Yeah, I like it here, so I'm going to stay
until it's over.
Yeah. Once you're in it, you're in it.
It's intense. You're this involved in it. So here we go. We're just waiting for the athletes to appear. Small final first, and then the big final. So women's round first of all. So it's going to be Jimin Zhong versus Alexander Kaluchka for the bronze medal or fourth place. I just say that I get a bit nervous.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, it's hard not to be. I mean, you want everyone to win, but this has been a good final as well, I think.
Yeah. I always like to see a lot of clean runs because it's always heartbreaking if somebody makes a mistake. We talk about it often that it would be nice to have one comp where everybody can just show his or her best, because it would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people. We have a very fast cut for men and women finals, but there are still so many people who maybe messed up a little bit, messed up big time. If everybody would have been like perfect runs, it would even be much more close.
Yeah, it'd be good to see what the true potential is, isn't it?
Yes.
And I tell you what, I mean, again, touching wood, we're quite close to that right now.
Yeah. But also you have to say that, where is the bottom? That's the question. I mean, for the boys, I think we are starting to get in a direction where there will be a bottom at some point. I mean, I don't think we will see 3.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But especially for the women, I think there's a lot of potential still left untouched.
I agree. I mean, there's a whole beater at the top that the women could do.
Because the gap is still quite big if you compare it to other sports. So I think we can go way lower with the women than the men can from where they are right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, there's a whole beater. There's a lot for the women's sport especially. But the men's is getting just outrageously faster.
But now we're seeing also the women getting more dense, which is super nice. More women under 7 seconds. Miroslav was very dominant under the 7 seconds, and now people are coming after her.
All right, well, here we go. This is it. The medal races. Jiming-Zhong on the left, Alexander Kaluchka on the right. Who will take the bronze medal here in China? Well, it is a clean start, which is good to see. Alexander Kaluchka at the moment slightly ahead. I think Jiming-Zhong, though, is coming back. Oh, no! Oh. Alexander slipping. Jiming-Zhong takes the bronze. What happened there, Lucas? That was crazy.
She just missed it by a slight margin, and that's the thing. It's like if you're half a centimeter or 2 millimeters off, it might be too much. It's like...
And it's what
and
you
that's
said.
Heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's drama. It's brilliant for us. But oh my goodness! I mean, it just shows what you said. Never give up.
You couldn't write a better screenplay.
No, you couldn't. Exactly. We could try, but it'd be rubbish.
If we would know, this person does 6.5. This person does 6.6. Well, yeah.
I agree. You know, for me, the best sporting moments are when things are that close. And there's up and down.
And that's the thing, because mistakes happen so easily in our sport, right? If you look for sprinting, maybe they're not as fast as they could be, but they're not going to stumble normally.
Yes, that's so true, yeah. I mean, this is why our sport's better than running, in my opinion. But, that's my opinion. All right, so the men's bronze race here. We've got Kermel Katabin versus Ludovico Fasali. Ludo would love to walk away with this medal here tonight. And look, he's a little nervous. He needs to use those nerves to give himself some energy.
Yeah, I think both feel the pressure, like as we talked.
Yeah.
Small final. Might be more pressure than big final.
I wouldn't want it. I really wouldn't want it. So who's going to take that fourth? Kermel Katabin approaches the wall. He's still calm and in his zone. Ludovico puffed out his cheeks earlier on. Can he keep this emotion at bay? We wait for the starter's orders. Well, it's clean from both men. Ludo was ahead, but now he's slightly behind. Kermel Katabin is drawing away. It's going to be Kermel Katabin stopping the clock. 5.074 versus 5.161. So close, but far from Ludo.
Yeah. And this is what we want to see, like basically clean races. Or what do you mean? What do you want to see? But what the athletes deserve. They deserve to be able to show their best. Also, if there maybe have been small mistakes, because I guess both of them maybe could feel like they could still do a little bit better, but it's very nice for them.
I agree, and deserve is the right word, because as we discussed throughout this live stream, hardest working athlete in the business. Okay, it's finals time. So, Alexander Miroslav, definitely the favourite on paper, but up against her teammate Natalia Kaluchka. Lucas, this is a massive race.
It is. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, Lucas is like moving next to me. He's like crossing his fingers. I hope you are as well.
I mean, I know both of them very well, so it's like...
Exactly, you can't pick it, can you?
And I wouldn't want to.
No, exactly, you wouldn't. So, here we go. Alexander, can the Ice Queen keep it together, or will Natalia Kaluchka, the underdog, come through? Well, it's a clean start from both. Alexandra Miroslav is ahead. There was a both hesitation from both athletes. Natalia hesitates again. Miroslav is going to take it.
And we see a world record equalization at least. I'm not sure about the third digit, but it's 6.24.
Yes, that's true. I mean, yeah, I don't... What is the last digit on a thing? It could be. She's not celebrating like a world record. But it's really close. Wow. Yeah. Miroslav, what a race from her.
The thing is, I'm not sure if we have a third digit on the world record, because the rules changed a little bit from last season to this season as well. So it might be that it's just like equalized, but this was a really, really good run.
I mean,
there's nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean, almost flawless from
And
Miroslav.
What a way to win a World Cup.
Unbelievable. Oh, God. And so quick.
And it's a PB for her.
It's everything for her. Miroslav is back with a bang, and it's fantastic to see. Okay, last race of the entire World Cup Speed first round. Sam Watson versus Peng Wu.
And the crowd is going crazy.
I know that Josh Larson, the USA coach, is going to be nervous. Sam's dad's going to be nervous. But the Chinese crowd also. They'll be sweaty
fingers. If you see PB 479 to 4.86.
This is the race. And it's the first race of the season.
And this could be a world record race.
Here we go. Don't even...
If there are no mistakes, we might see one. Let's see.
Don't blink, ladies and gentlemen. Do not blink. Do not look away. This is massive. We wait for starters' orders. Yes, it's clean from both of them. Sam Watson had a little hesitation. Peng Wu is pulling ahead. Sam Watson is behind. Sam's trying everything, but no. Peng Wu takes the
He goes through. And the crowd goes crazy.
They really do. That was absolutely wild. Sam had mistakes. Oh, look, Luca, thank you for joining me here today.
It was a pleasure, Matt.
It's been brilliant. Your insights were fantastic. You've got to run and go and interview the winners.
I have to.
So I will see you in a bit and catch up with you in a sec. So Lucas Knapp heads down to interview the winners, and I get to wrap things up here from China. What a final that was. Alexander Miroslav, as you can see, taking the gold medal. Natalia Kaluchka, silver, and Jimin Zhong in third. Unreal performances from everyone, and what a way to kick off the speed season. World records flying all over the place, and the athletes flying up the wall. Incredible stuff here in Wujiang as we just wait for the men's results to be okayed. Yeah, you got to feel for Sam Watson. He was the man on fire, but in that last race, the silver medal is not a bad consolation prize for that man. Here we go. Sam Watson in second. Peng Wu, 4.91. Look how consistent Peng Wu's times are as well. And then Kermel Katabin taking the bronze, just pipping Ludovico Fasali. What a race! Congratulations to all the athletes. Performances worthy of gold. Well, we will now wait for the interviews. You can see the screen set up in front of you. The athletes will be going down towards Lucas at the front. And we will be catching up on all the excitement. These were the replays. Sam Watson with some slips along the way. Incredible from Sam. And then Peng Wu, he celebrated. Incredible performance from Peng Wu. Back and forth and a happy man there. Getting it done on that final race. And Sam Watson, what a competitor he is. Straight away with a handshake, celebrating with Peng Wu. The two of them together at the front of the stage. And you can see from Sam, of course, he would have wanted to win this. But it's that silver medal, a good consolation prize from him. And there's two world records. Alexander Miroslav, I said she was the ice queen. She's so calm, cool, and collected. And she got it done on the night. Look at this race. Almost flawless, skipping her way up, smashing that and equaling the world record. Unreal from Alexandra Miroslav there. Powering her way up with that skip and a jump for that 6.24. Awesome from Alexandra, slapping the wall in happiness, a smile on her face, looking very relaxed and happy out there on the wall. So just to let you know what we've got left on this Wujiang Odyssey, well, tomorrow it is the lead finals for the men and the women. Earlier on today we had the semi-finals, and tonight, or tomorrow night, it is the finals. Gold medals given away once again, podium places decided, and a great way to finish off this week. And a reminder as well of all our social media platforms you could go along and follow. Instagram, of course, constant social media stuff up there, and of course the World Climbing Club on YouTube. You can go and subscribe to that and check out a daily show with not just highlights, but behind the scenes action, interviews, and more. That will be free to watch as well, so go and have a look at that. There's some interesting stuff on there. Let's hear from Alexandra Miroslav. She's down at the front. We're just waiting. I'm not sure that shot's all ready.
Good to see you. Congrats on your win today. Could you take me a little bit through what you felt during that last race with that time, basically equalizing the world record, your own PB?
I think it was like really tough road to this gold, and I had a lot of emotion during this competition. After not very good quali, I had like that 24 hours to think about it, and I going through really hard thoughts. And I'm really happy that I handled it, and I did it, and it was amazing because like it kind of improved. I can do this, and I found my mindset, the right mindset.
After seeing now that you had 6.24 in the final race, obviously everybody's thinking like you still got something left in the tank. So we're all excited to see you on the next competition. But could you maybe take us a little bit through the journey you went through when you, not coming from the first place, but as you mentioned from the quali, where you probably were not as satisfied as you could be, but then just came back and showed everybody that you're the world record holder?
What I have learned through all this year, it's that it's never like easy competition or easy run. Every run is like for the 100%. It's like doesn't matter with who or how fast run your another competitor, another athlete. It's very important how fast you can run.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from Alexandra Miroslav. What a legend that lady is. She's done everything there is to do in the game and continues to win and be motivated. Pretty inspiring stuff. Right, we wait for our winner, Peng Wu. He won last year as well here, of course. So another win under the belt for that man. Takes it 2 out of 2 for him. And we're just waiting for those interviews.
Congratulations to your victory today. We really want to grade you on one of the fastest races we've probably seen. You've been very constant throughout the competition. How do you feel?
就是你今天就是首先恭喜你，然后你今天跑的就非常特别快的成绩。那么就是你现在感觉怎么样？
现在非常的开心，非常的激动。没有。
Now I feel still excited and still happy. That's all.
We see that you performed very well every round, that you always went under 5 seconds, which in the last season, well, nobody really did a lot under 5 seconds except the Team Indonesia. So tell us a little bit what's going on in Team China now that you have also done under 4 seconds, and not one time, but basically almost every run that you performed here.
就你今天每一轮都爬在了5秒内，然后之前的话可能只有印尼队能够就是在每一轮能爬到5秒内。就你训练之后，你最近训练也都是在5秒内的吗？还是就是说你每一轮能爬到这样的成绩，就你觉得就是有什么想说的？
在训练中，基本上爬不到5秒以内，都是在5秒1、5秒2、5秒0之间。5秒以内爬得过2次，也都是在4秒999，也就在5秒以内一点点。所以今天我发挥的我感觉是 是我自己的最好的状态了，也是对我去年的训练一个证明，一个对我自己的一个肯定吧。
So like normally I training and my training time is around 5 seconds. Like I only climb under 5 seconds twice. It's the best is 499. So normally in the training I climb only 5.0 or 5.1 or 5 even 5.2. But during the competition, like I did my best and I feel. Today, I feel like the body conditioning, like the performance is really well. It's a proof of like how training hard I am in this winter training. And I forgot the last one sentence, but yeah, I feel like so happy.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your win. You deserved it.
谢谢，非常感谢，还有祝贺你。
谢谢大家。
Okay, thanks.
So thank you to our winners there. They will now be ushered around the side for the podium, which will take place in a couple of minutes. So do remember that tomorrow we have the lead finals for men and women, and we're just right now watching the highlights from that final round. Alexander Miroslav, what a race it was. Worth watching again. Pure speed from the lady there, 6.24. Beating her teammate to the top spot. And you've got to say, come at the Olympics, if she continues with this form, it'd be difficult not to bet against her. She's so consistent, so good. And then Sam Watson here, crushing his way up, but beaten by Peng Wu with a 4.910. A brilliant final race. And a worthy end to this speed competition here in Wujiang. The best in the world going head to head. Well, do stick with us because in a couple of minutes we will have the podium. Bronze, silver and gold will be given away, and it's a good time to celebrate with the best athletes. You can see the podium prepared and ready. And let's just check the confirmation of those results once more. Alexander Miroslav, 6.24, beating Natalia Kaluchka, 6.75. But in the small final, Ji Junzhong, 6.62 versus Alexander Kaluchka, who lost out with an 8.93 after a bit of a slip. And then as we look at the men's, we just saw it, Peng Wu, 4.91, consistent throughout, but also king of consistency, Mr. Sam Watson. He had a moment in the finals that cost him dear, but he takes away the silver medal. And then the bronze, Kermel Katabin, a 5.07, beating Ludovico Fasali, who got a 5.16. Close. Well, that's what speed is all about, as close as you can get with some of the fastest athletes, and of course walking away with those prized medals. And here we go. I think it is almost time for this medal ceremony. Certainly things are being cleared out of the way. It's a good opportunity as well to shout out the volunteers, TV crews and everyone working hard behind the scenes to make these events happen. Thank you so much. It's been run well. We've been looked after. And the medal ceremony is moments away. So just to remind you, we're waiting for the awards ceremony. The athletes will be getting their team kits on, medals prepared in the background, and the IFSC dignitaries and local associations will be getting themselves ready through those doors on the right-hand side. No one really leaving the stadium. Everyone wanting to see this ceremony. We'll hear the national anthems as well as giving the medals. And I think we are pretty much ready to go here. A couple of seconds, and then we will be almost on the podium, the athletes in the background. So we have those world record confirmations. Remember, Sam Watson's was beaten. Well, he set it this weekend with a 4.79. Unbelievable. Did it twice. It was really special. And do go to the IFSC's Instagram page where you can watch that happen. We made a reel of that last night, so you can check out the fastest man in the world. And Alexander Miroslav, the world record holder for the women, she beat it previously. She couldn't beat it again this week, but I think a bit too much to ask, that one. But she has walked away with a gold medal. So here we go. The music starts in the background. The graphic comes on screen. It's time for the awarding ceremony. Our photographers are waiting down at the front. The world's press gathered to see the fastest athletes in the world stand on the podium. And the announcer lets us all know what's about to happen. There's those lights on the right, a flash across the stage. So here we go. The athletes come on. Oh, a bit of an outfit change there for some of our dignitaries out on the stage. Those people, as they walk through, are taking care of the competition and looking very, very smart. So here we go. The three fastest in Wujiang up here. And they are waiting with all these cameras pointing at them. Nice to see smiles on people's faces here. Alexander Miroslav, of course, standing on the top spot. Hopefully you can hear the announcer in the background. I'll be a little quiet here so you can listen to the live action out there in the arena. Jiminjong awarded that bronze medal. Big smile on her face. Team Korea up and coming for sure. Such a good team.
Poland.
获得银牌的是波兰。
Galuga Natalia. Gold medalist and the winner of IFSC Climbing World Cup 2024 Wujiang, Poland.
获得
And then finally, Alexander Miroslav stands on the top spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the anthem of Poland.
女士们、先生们，请起立，奏波兰国歌。
So there we go, the
Presenters
women
and
stand on
medalists,
the top
please take
spot
2 photos.
有请
as the
颁奖嘉
photographers
宾
will
与
gather
奖运动
to
员
take the
合影留
last
念。
photos of those 3 heroes out there today. Gold, silver and bronze awarded. And of course, the men's round to come. Stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly for the men's ceremony.
Thanks to all the presenters.
感谢颁奖嘉宾。
Congratulations to all the medalists.
祝贺获奖运动员。
That's the end of the victory ceremony for women's speed of IFSC Climbing World Cup 2024 Wujiang.
2024国际攀联世界杯攀岩赛中国吴江站女子速度颁奖仪式到此结束，男子速度颁奖仪式马上开始，敬请期待。
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for men's speed of IFSC Climbing World Cup 2024 Wujiang now begins.
女士们、先生们。 2024国际
So here we go, men's podium time.
男子速度颁
As
奖
again,
仪式
the press
现在
gathers at the
开
front.
始。
I think it's a bit of a battle to who can get the best shot
有
out
请
there.
获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾
Certainly they will
入
all
场
be。appearing online very, very soon. Of course, news organisations around the world following climbing. And this the first World Cup of the year. We caught a glimpse of Sam in the background there. Team USA kit on. We're off to his home World Cup next week in the USA. Salt Lake City hosts us in a couple of weeks. Time for another World Cup, and I, for one, cannot wait. So set the dates.
The medals
in the
will be
diary.
presented by
为获奖运动员颁发奖牌的是
Executive Committee Member of IFSC, President of Asian Council of IFSC, CMA President, the People's Republic of China.
来自中国的国际攀联执委、国际攀岩联合会亚洲理事会主席、中国登山协会主席李志新先生。
Accompanied by
陪同颁奖的是
Member of the Party Working Committee of Boho New and High-Tech Industrial Development Zone, Deputy Director of the Management Committee, Deputy Secretary of the Party Committee of Lili Town, and Mayor of Lili Town. The People's Republic of China.
来自中国的汾湖高新区党工委委员、管委会副主任、李里镇党委副书记、镇长陈朝林先生。
Bronze medalist, Indonesia.
获得铜牌的是印度尼西亚。
Katvin Kiloman. Silver medalist, the United States of America.
获得银牌的是美国。
Walton Samuel. gold medalist and the winner of IFSC Climbing World Cup 2024 Wujiang, the People's Republic of China.
获得金牌的是中国吴鹏。
Wow, Peng Wu taking that gold medal. So impressive from him in front of his home crowd. That smile cannot be wiped off his
Ladies
face.
and
The
gentlemen,
Chinese crowd will
please
enjoy
stand
the
for the
national
anthem
anthem.
of the People's Republic of China.
女士们、先生们，请起立，奏中华人民共和国国歌。
So as we say goodbye from
please take
speed
group photos.
here in
有
Wujiang,
请
we
颁
set
奖
our
嘉宾
sights
与
on
获奖运动
tomorrow's
员合
competition.
影留念。
It's going to be a great round as the lead climbers compete for their place on that podium. Make sure you join me, Matt Groom, for all of the action here in Wujiang. And thank you so much, my co-commentator Lucas Knapp,
Thanks
for
to
joining
all
me
the
here in the
presenters.
commentary box.
Thank
We'll
you,
close
颁奖
with some
嘉宾。
footage from the competition. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you very soon.
Congratulations to all the medalists.
祝贺获奖运动员！